What's up, guys? What's going on? I hope you guys are having an amazing week. So today we're going to go into the part of fortune. So let's roll the intro and get into the video. All right. So first of all, what is the part of fortune in astrology? Well, the part of fortune it's not a planet. It is an Arabic point, meaning that it is essentially a point that exists somewhere in your natal chart that is based from a calculation that combines the sun, moon, and ascendant, right? And it's different whether you're born at night or day. But for example, it could be the sun plus the moon minus the ascendant, right? Where if you put each degree of the zodiac in a numerical system, let's say, the first degree of the zodiac, or 0 Aries, I guess, but let's say zero Aries would be 1, right? And then the last degree of Pisces, 29 Pisces would be, 360, right? So it's like, with every degree in between, you're, taking, like 89 plus 68 minus 42, and then whatever degree that lands on, corresponding to whatever sign and house, that's your part of fortune. So what is the part of fortune? It's a very special point in the chart where it's almost like where you can find a lot of luck and you can find a lot of fortune, a lot of, it's like your flow, where there can be a lot of flow. So you tend to need to develop, we're going to do this in the signs. I'll show you houses. Yeah, let's do houses actually. But you need to basically, develop what, in this area of life if we're doing the houses. So, yeah. And what else could I say about part of fortune before we get started or before we jump into the first house? Yeah, it really is what it sounds like, right? So there's a lot of ancient astrological techniques that use the part of fortune, like zodiacal releasing and whatnot. So it's a big deal, and understanding where yours falls. Maybe I'll do a different video on the, in the signs, but let's jump into it. And if you really, obviously it's different signs and houses, but you can still get a lot out of this video if, let's say, you have it in Scorpio in the first house, right? You hear my part about the first house and then the 8th house for Scorpio. It's not the same. Obviously, houses and signs are not the same, but yeah. Okay, so first house, part of fortune. So basically, people with the first house, part of fortune, they need to go get what they want, right? So basically, they need to make their own luck, you could say. Be very, they need to kind of get better, or be very good when it comes to independence and assertiveness and going after what they want, right? So, so in the first, let's see, it's a big part of it is about finding strength within yourself, and people with this are able to, right? They can really benefit when they do things on their own, when they are independent. With that said, they do have to watch out for the potential of getting lost in other people's opinions. But really embracing who you truly are is the key, right? It's a lot about individuality and creating a life that is based on, what you really want, right? So following, anything with that, there's that need to follow your intuition, to follow your gut, that guiding element, compass within us, right? So people with this need to learn to support themselves, right? And kind of have that balance, not people please, like the opposite, negative potential of the 7 archetype. So Yeah, just being brave, being yeah, having that courage to be different, and and just move through life in that way. So, and then when we think about that, we think about self-image. So a lot of this is also based on on developing a strong self-image, right? So where does a strong self-image come from? It comes from self-acceptance, self-esteem. So when you really, have that process of individuation, it's very, very important. And sometimes sometimes that means focusing on your own goals, right? Making sure that those goals are truly yours, that they don't belong to, societal conditioning or your family, or, making sure that you're doing it for you. What else can I say? Yeah. Yeah. I guess, yeah, through focus, that focus on the self, it actually will have a better effect on relationships too, because you understand who you are better. And then that makes you more authentic, which leads more people to you, right? Whether it's friendships, romantic relationships, or whatever. So, yeah, and with that said, it's also important to spend time alone, right, when needed, to kind of balance out, to get to get that inspiration. All right, as you guys know, I need to track the times. So now we have the second house. So part of fortune in the second house. What can we say about this one? Well, for second house, part of fortune, it is very much about values, right? And establishing a very solid, authentic value system. So it's basically the foundations for, why you do things, right? So basically, another big part of it is stability. Second archetype, whether you want to call it Taurus or not, but just that inner stability and groundedness. People with this, they'll feel that fulfillment when they are kind of keeping to their determination, right? When they're determined on their path, not giving up, and stable on an emotional and physical level, right? So that's really, really important. And it's like I said in the first one, right? When you set your values according to who you are authentically, not to who society tells you to be. So besides that, I would say that, just obviously second house, we think about money too. So there could be a need, but I always think with this, it's like a need to, and obviously you have to really look at the sign, to align, your values and to have a nice balance between like the physical material and the spiritual, more energetic. So that's very, very important. And yeah, just finding that being able to like enjoy stability, right? And that firm foundation that you create in life, taking your time to create it. And then that's also the basis for your own self-esteem, your own, and the values that you bring forward in life. So yeah. And yeah, what else do I want to say? I've seen people with this one struggle with self-esteem and self-worth. So that's obviously something, where you have to really figure out, what's mine, what's not mine, right? Which is a theme in this video. And also, I would say, just like second house, you can't run away from finances, so it is important. But like I was saying, like they have to be. It can't be. It's more like the journey, not the destination. It's more about they can reflect strong. Like there should be a strong link between what you value and your money, right? But people with this, they tend to enjoy building wealth, and but really it's like not doing it in a blind way, right? So you need meaning. You need a solid why, right? And when you follow that more of those spiritual values, that's when good fortune follows you, right? So it's really, because part of fortune is about the soul as opposed to the ego. So if like you just want money for the sake of money, it might not be good, right? Or if you're like trying to, like if your why for money is just to show off, and for the ego, it could be bad. But yeah, usually people with this are very good when it comes to managing money. So the whole potential for wealth depends on many factors in the whole chart, but yeah, I think that just making sure there's not an obsession with that in the negative way I described. And sometimes, the more you give, the more you get, right? So just making sure that one is not selfish. Okay. So let me write it down. So next we have the third house, part of fortune. So basically the third house is a lot about our communication, our mind, many things, right? But really also people with this, they tend to have a lot of good things come to them when they're connecting with other people, right? And when they're like curious cats, and able to kind of take risks and move throughout life. So also because the third house is linked to siblings and also different relatives, neighbors, stuff of that nature, you can benefit in that, from them in some type of way. I've actually seen that. So yeah. Yep. So with the third house, part of fortune, obviously, communication is emphasized. So there is that need to kind of take social risks, I guess you can say, risks that can, help you develop your social skills and your ability to connect with more people. Being able to go into different social environments and be brave and kind of put yourself out there is very, very good. And also not being closed-minded, right? Not being willing, being a good listener, not just blah 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 blah. Realizing that other people have different points of views, and it can only expand you to bring those in, to allow those in, right? So a lot of people with this, they feel a massive need to express themselves, right, on a deep level. And obviously it depends, I'm gonna say every time, it depends on the whole chart, but very, very creative thinkers, and when they allow their minds to be free and to just go, as opposed to, like, I'm gonna say this every time, allowing any kind of conditioning to weigh them down, that's when things can be really good. So allowing that intuition to kind of guide. So whether it's writing, reading, expressing ideas, speaking, whatever, right? Your intellect can really help you achieve different goals, right? So yeah. And something that I've seen a lot with people with this, they love to learn. They love to read. All types of media. And also the third house represents our immediate surroundings, so there could be something related to that. That could be like the city you live in, while the ninth house might be like more international, or like the smaller area you're in. So yeah. All right. So let me write this down every time. You know what? I'm just gonna go up my speed. 45. Okay, so fourth house. So what's up with the fourth house part of fortune? Well, fourth house is obviously about home, family, the deep internal self, and much more. So, and it's very linked to nurturing. So people with the fourth house part of fortune can find a lot of joy and their flow state, good fortune when they're in that type of position, right? Where they're close with their family, and whether it's their family of origin or family they've created, and they're giving back, right? They're able to nurture, to love, and be in touch also, having this spiritual relationship with themselves, right? This more introspective relationship. So making sure that they don't disconnect. And there's a big desire with this to take care of other people. Also be taken care of, but it goes both ways. And many of them are very attached to their family. And a lot of them I've seen have had good relationships with their family, where they often receive help or just good energy from them. I always need to check after my PTSD, the last video that this microphone died mid-video. So sad. So that's one element. And I think just the best energy comes when you feel very grounded emotionally within yourself, when you can almost create like a metaphoric emotional home within yourself, right? So also physically, the actual home, that needs to be like a place where you can really enhance your life from the physical home, a place where you feel, so you might be very particular about how it's decorated, about the energy, you might be saging. It's just very important for you and whoever you live with to share that value of the home being that sanctuary type energy, right? Besides that, let me think for a second. Yeah, I mean, like, I've seen people with this, like, where like in the water houses of the part of fortune, where it can just be good for them to spend time away sometimes. Not overdo it, but also sometimes people with this had a challenging childhood where they had to, play the role of nurture even from a young age. So that can lead to, someone who just gives. So that's one thing to watch out for. But a lot of times, like I said before, a lot of times they have fun with their family. They like spending quality time, and they tend to gain energy. Not all the time, but from what I've seen. And they can be great healers, but also because Cancer rules cooking. So doing things like around the house, like even like real estate, right? But like gardening, cooking. Making sure the house is looking good. All these things can be really good. And I would say the fourth house, there can also be a fascination or connection with ancestors, and just with history and the past in general. So very interesting stuff. And just that desire to belong, it's very, very important that one creates that within themselves so that they're not having a needy energy towards other people. But yeah, and like I said, with the ancestors, there could be like lots of good, I can expand on that a little bit, lots of good fortune coming from them. I've seen people with this born into money, or obviously 8th house is more inheritance, but I've seen it with this one too. And 4th house mother, so yeah, where the mother can really lead them to success, or be very paramount in their journey towards success. So yeah. Where are we at? So with the 5th, 20, 50. So with the 5th house, part of fortune, 5th house is all about fun. It's all about creativity. It's all about authentic self-expression, right? So it's through creative endeavors that we find fun, right? It's through being in our inner childs that we find that we find fun, that we find good fortune, having where we can let ourselves go and just be, instead of thinking, oh, like I need to impress this person or that person. So yeah, that's anything related to self-expression. It helps that person feel at ease, and be happy and attract good energy to them. So I think people with this, like, so obviously 5th house is very linked with creativity. So the idea of bringing something beautiful to life, right? Whatever it is, whether it's making art, music, basically turning a dream into reality is huge. But what's really important is to not get stuck in that daydreaming process, right? And it's very important also to surround yourself with like-minded people. So some people with this, they can get a little bit lost in their own ideas and heads and dreams. So by finding like-minded people, which is more 11th house polarity point, can be very, very good. And just having strong passions and strong hobbies that are really linked to your authentic self is important. So obviously 5th house is linked with Leo, right? So it's very much, it can be someone who likes being in the spotlight and who, likes to receive attention. So that, obviously everything comes in balance, right? But doing things for the right reasons is all I will say about that. More, like I said, for the soul, not the ego, with part of fortune. But it can be very good, at a high level, like someone who's has almost this enthusiastic joy, right? Or this, what am I trying to say? Not enthusiastic. This joy that they're able to spread, and this joy and enthusiasm that they're able to, it's contagious. I can't believe I forgot that word. That they're able to spread. And also 5th house is children, 5th house is romance, that initial romance, first part of romance. So those, they can really enjoy being around children, and really benefit a lot from, whether it's their children or working, with children, like as a school teacher, something like that. But yeah, like parenting can be something that they're very, very good at. And it can be, that whole process can be a great blessing. And then when we talk about kind of romance, and you can even say sexuality, there's also kind of benefits that can come from that and from the true expression of that, right? Okay. 6th, 24, 58. Okay, so 6th house part of fortune. Wait, what just happened? Okay, so this one is very much about your work, your habits, your day to day, right? So it's very good to people with this. It's about breaking everything down, right? Figuring out a routine, obviously based on the sign that's in that works very well for you. So success comes when they can have a more organized approach to their daily life, like more strategy, more of less like head in the clouds, like delusional, like, oh yeah, it's all gonna work out, like low vibe Pisces, more high vibe Virgo, where it's like, I'm not gonna over worry about this, but I understand what it takes to what it takes to be successful, right? Like you don't get successful by just thinking it's just magically gonna happen. No. So yeah. Anyways, success is also very so it's linked with a lot of things. With we can talk about, like I already said, with health. So like physical, mental, spiritual health. So making sure that those areas of life are emphasized, but also very linked with work. So, and service to other people. So they can be very compassionate people and benefit a lot from that. And, just the idea is being more reality based, right? Like not, like I said, like not being in the low vibe Pisces where they just, oh yeah, things are just gonna work out, blah, 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 and then they just get really lazy and then one little thing knocks them over and they just give up on themselves. No, it's not about that here. Now, one thing I'd say for this is like to make sure not to deny your own needs by giving. You need that balance. So yeah, I think also people with this can, find a lot of joy in their work, in their day-to-day work and in their day-to-day routine. It's very, very important. Sixth house is also pets. I'll always say it. So, pets can be something that bring a lot of joy too. And yeah, people with this, like it's very, very important for you to enjoy your job, for you to enjoy your day to day, right? Because the goal of your work is for it to energize you. Yeah. And yeah, I feel like people with this are very good at noticing like the small, like just with good Virgo energy in general, like just noticing like the small details that actually matter a lot. And it can bring, like I said, part of fortune, it can bring a lot of luck in the workplace, right? It could bring luck to the overall health. But with anything sixth house, there's that psychosomatic element, right? So it's like, making sure that you're really, really on your grind when it comes to the mental health element, because that can all come off physically. So, yeah. Computer's getting slow. Okay, so now let's talk about the seventh house, part of fortune in the seventh house. So obviously the seventh house is the house of one-on-one relationships. So people with this tend to get quite lucky, I said, when it comes to their close one-on-one relationships. So they can really thrive on these very close, like usually it's romantic, but it's also, best friends and business partners, and it's the house of open enemies as well. So basically these people can bring a lot of joy, maybe not the enemies, but yeah, maybe there's a benefit with respect to enemies having this placement. But anyways, so really like the big thing with part of fortune is following the sign and house, and knowing that like if you're in the highest energy of that good things will come, right? So seventh house is basically that strong desire for partnerships, and obviously it depends on the whole chart, but a lot of people with this, they feel better when they're in healthy, committed partnerships, right? But yeah, I feel like there's a need kind of to, like I was saying with the first house one, to not be too much in that, right? To not be codependent, to actually have your own life, so then that you can attract someone else and you're not coming from a place of lack. Like it's like you're good with them or you're good without them. They're an added extra to your life. So I think that yeah, I think that's really, really important what I just said. Is having that wholeness on your own because of the potential dependency potential dependency tendencies that it can bring. So codependency. So really, and that's one of the keys with seventh house placements in general, is that you got to go after yourself, and then good things will come, right? Which can be difficult. But also seventh house, it's like counseling, astrology, and anything with clients. Those types of professions can be really, really good. Even like lawyers, judges, whatever, right? So yeah, and I think that one's pretty simple in the sense that you gotta balance out yourself. Go watch if you didn't watch the whole video, go watch the first house one too. Okay, so eighth house. Okay, so eighth house. What can we say about part of fortune in the eighth house? Well, it's obviously the house linked with Scorpio, so it's always going to be deep. I think that by going deep into your own shadow, and allowing yourself to transform, and also having that deep spiritual relationship with yourself, a lot of good can come. And so eighth house is related to a lot, right? And one area also, just like, so go back to watch the second house one too, but it's good. It's one that's good for money management and being able to benefit from other people's resources, whether it's inheritance or marrying someone that has money, or working in a type of job like an investment banker where you're working with other people's money. But it's very interesting because the eighth house is usually not associated with joy and good fortune. Not that I'm an eighth houser myself, but it is a very interesting one from my experience, because like what can happen is that the good fortune can come to you through other people, right? So other people can help you in many ways, whether it's emotionally, spiritually, financially, whatever. And part of the lesson is learning to accept help, right? So people with this sometimes, like, they can be very good at crisis situations, and they can actually benefit from very tough crisis-like situations, which is very interesting. So as I said in the second house, that's all about values. So it's kind of similar with the eighth, right? You have to understand, the more spiritual values that you base your life on, and really going within the self, and having that strong foundation, similar in that way. But just knowing that like you do best, and fortune comes to you, good fortune comes to you when you accept the transformation that life sends at you, or the when you accept, like, it might be through crisis, right? When you successfully orientate, or get through these times, where you're asked to evolve. But yeah, just being open is very, very important, because, like I said, things will come from places you don't expect them to come from. And eighth house is also very partnership oriented, right? So, hey, Ina, oh, what a rare visit. Hey, eighth. This is an eighth house, or eighth house, sun, moon, and Jupiter. Look how cute she is. Stay on my lap for once. So soft. So yeah, what can I say? Yeah, I think that's kind of good for that one. What do you think, Ina? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, well, I guess what I was going to say about lovers, it's like also, like, it's a very deep type of love. So yeah, when you can accept yourself at all levels, then you're able to really accept deep, deep intimacy. So when you're able to allow yourself to be intimate, and show the cat. When you're allowing yourself to actually, like, be, intimate and vulnerable, a lot of good fortune can come. Obviously, with the right people, but yeah. Okay, so now the ninth house. So, why are you hiding from me? So, okay, part of fortune in the ninth house. What can I say about this one? Ninth house is about truth. It's about gain. It's about a lot of things, right? But really, I see it as the house of. Thank God, it's the house of our own personal truth and our own personal philosophies. So, there's a lot about traveling and different cultures, and just learning in general, like higher level learning, right? So basically, your intuition, and it's similar. Like, go back and watch the one on the third house, right? Like, by being curious and following that gut, you can really lead yourself to your highest fortune and good fortune and abundance and all that. But the key is to always be broadening your horizons, right? To not self-limit, especially when it comes to other people's philosophies, and like I was saying, the third house one, like, not thinking that just, that you know everything and that you can't allow someone else's input. Like, everyone has something to teach you at the end of the day. So, because it is linked to the higher mind, you have to be, like I said, you have to be open-minded, right? Like, it could be like fortune can come to you, for example, from like a teacher, but you might not know it at first. You might not know. So there's a big need to put aside, and it obviously depends on the whole chart. If anyone's interested in a reading, let me know, jessinessastrategy.com. But yeah, like, it's very, very important to know the whole chart, because of this is just one component, and this explanation could be completely different for two different charts, but where it could apply in two completely different ways. But anyways, yeah, so things can come from places you never expect, and it's really important to, like, ninth house, stay positive, stay optimistic, right? Life can send you in different directions, and to not look at something that you might see as bad. Like, just look at it. It just is, when we get too invested in our stories of, like, this is bad, this is good, and so forth, we can lock ourselves in a room, and then when truly amazing opportunities come, if we've locked ourselves in that story of bad, 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 it's not, you're not gonna be able to take it, right? So it's kind of about, being able to roll with the punches and be adventurous. You have to let yourself go and go on adventures physically and metaphorically, right? Acquiring wisdom, whether it's through different cultures and all that whole process of, being in a different culture. Like I live in Argentina, I lived in Romania before, I lived in many different places, and each time I grow so much. I learned so much about it. It's not even things I can really, I could put them into words, but yeah. So, all right, this happens like every video these days. I don't know what's up on my computer, but my video got cut. Good thing I only talked for a few minutes more. I don't really know like what I didn't say. But yeah, basically with the ninth house, as I was saying, it's really about developing the higher mind through different adventures, through different international, there's a lot of good fortune that can come when you take, adventures or take chances with international adventures. And when you're developing your higher ideals and your high level of spirituality, right? Like, for example, making sure that there's not conditioning that's pushing you back, or that's giving you your ideas. Making sure that your ideas of what truth is, you're a lifelong student, and there can be a lot of benefit that comes when you allow different people to be your teacher and don't allow intellectual ego to get in the way, right? So yeah, just always understand that like it's kind of like a gypsy energy. It's like the end of the rainbow, whatever it's called, the gold end of the rainbow is when you take risks, when you put yourself out there. So depending on your whole chart, who knows how it could be different, person to person. Okay, so so now we have the 10th house. This is where I have mine. I have mine on the midheaven, so I know this one well. So basically, part of fortune in the 10th, it's really when following your highest dharma and your highest ambition. By doing that, that's where you find joy. Now, I don't like to talk, I've been talking about myself a lot less, or like not very much. But I can say, from my experience with this, that the 10th house part of fortune also, when you're, obviously depending on the sign, I'm in Taurus, when you're being yourself to the public in whatever way that is, or when you're very authentic with your life purpose, that's linked to, like I said before, in the 9th house, like your truth, that's when you can acquire a lot of great life fortune, a lot of great fortune and good opportunities. But it just like with the North Node, and like I said, this is why people need to get full readings, preferably from me, because everything connects together, right? But yeah, so it's really about working towards goals and turning these your dreams into reality, right? And also we can't ignore that there's that, some people from this can really benefit from being in the public eye or doing something that is a very onerous or playing a very high onerous role, if that's a word, in society, right? Or in their community. So obviously, it's a Saturn house. So for a lot of people, it doesn't come easily, and it's so magical, like the interplay of numerology, human design, astrology, because in my numerology, I have a karmic debt number that basically says that, I'm going to have to work really, really hard for the things I want, and it's not going to be this like, poof, but this is similar, right? So, all right, happened again. I'm back. Hopefully it works this time. So 10th house part of fortune, obviously, as I'm saying, it's not easy. It's really like, you attract, it's really through, it's through effort, right? It's through effort that the luck and the good fortune comes. But people with this, they tend to have that, desire to put themselves out there and work hard for something they really care about, right? But that thing should be linked to your greatest desires. It should be linked to your, it's your dharma, right? So it's not necessarily like, oh, make a million cajillion dollars. It's different for everyone, right? You got to look at a lot of things. But yeah, very ambitious people who have this, and they can. It's just like that professional part of their life, right? It's not just career, right? It's just that external part of their life is very important. So yeah, there can be, it can definitely help a lot. But if you're not going towards your goals with this, you can't just expect good things to come to you, Besides that, people with this sometimes can, there can be a level of struggle if they don't feel like they have the opportunity to show the world, their worth. Like they really like want to be able to do that, right? And they sometimes can identify too much with their, with what they do, like too much, like especially if they're putting they're attaching their ego to their job, or to their career too much, right? Where they can develop like some type of I'm better than other people because I'm so good at this or whatever. So it's really about contribution to society, to the world, rather than the more ego based. Because like with the idea of public recognition, it's like, is it just about like, oh, I want people to see me, I want people to know me, I want to prove people wrong, or is it more like, I want to create something for myself to help other people. I want to have a platform to spread a very positive message to help people, right? So yeah. Also, like I said, with the fourth house, it could be good fortune from the mother. Maybe the 10th house could be good fortune from the father. But I always, like I said, you guys hear me in these videos, I always have problems with the mother and father aspect of sun and moon. So I don't really put it that way. But, it could be that one parent, let's just say one parent, maybe it's the one that had, more of a masculine role, which a lot of times in today's world is the mother, can help you really advance and really support you in lots of ways. Now, also mentors, teachers, role models, stuff like that can be huge. But yeah, just knowing never to give up, right? That's when that luck, or whatever you want to call it, like that good fortune comes to you, is when, just like a Capricorn, you just keep going through the tough times. Okay, so hold on, give me a second, guys, because this is ridiculous. How am I going to write this out? Okay. Okay, I guess that works. So, okay, 2 more to go. 11th house. So, part of fortune, 11th house linked with Aquarius. So obviously the 11th house is all about the community and how you're supporting the world and humanitarianism, friends, organizations, all these things, right? How you're giving back. So I feel like with this one, it's also very much about individuality, right? Kind of like the fifth with Leo. So by having a very unique, by being very, very much in your own individuation, like I'm me, I'm not letting myself get influenced by society, by I am me. I've gone through that process of individuation. That's when things really open up, and it's a lot of good fortune comes through friends a lot of the times, and through different associations like that. But when there's an authentic connection, not like an ego-based, like I'm just friends with this person because they're cool type thing. So people with this can really attract other people to help them on their journey, to help them with their larger goals. And they can also it's not just about like success. It's actually a lot about joy. It's a lot about like receiving a lot of joy from friends, right? So besides that, there is a need to be open to receiving with this one for sure. And there's a lot of feeling like supported by the universe, right? But you just need to like be open to it, not just overly giving. Like that's good, that's great, it's amazing, and a lot of good things come to you, but you also have to be able to receive. Now, people with this do best, like I said, when they're unique, when they're diving into their creativity, when they're not afraid to take the road less traveled, right? And because you might be very in tune with the future and with kind of understanding where things are going, where other people have no idea, right? So obviously, like when you're doing humanitarian type work and just contributing to society, you attract a lot of good fortune. And especially if you have like strong like Aquarius or 11th house in general in your natal chart, or Uranus. And yeah, so I think like for example, like volunteering, finding causes you truly like care about and leaning into those, right? That opens up lots of doors. Being able to work with other people too, huge, right? Like especially if in your natal chart you have like issues with communication and with being able to connect with like maybe the air element is or the Mercury is difficult. Being able to do that is very huge. And yeah, because it's opposite of the fifth, it's another one with great creative potential and kind of being able to balance the fifth energy of that playful inner child with the 11th, which is more, a little bit more intellectual, but really about, work, coming bringing minds together, right? So being able to help others lean into their own individuation, like you learn it on your own and then being able to like bring it to other people, right? So like the need to find like-minded souls is so important. And just being around other people, right? Like being around friends and valuing friends and understanding that that's very, very important. That's where you can find a lot of very positive energy. But like I say with everything, you have to find it within yourself first. You can't like with the 7th house part, you can't rely too heavily on your friends. You can, but it's not good. So yeah. Am I doing a battery? Okay. So besides that, what can I say? Yeah. I'll definitely have to do one for the signs because the signs is really about like how it gives the how, right? The house is the where, right? It's like the more of the flavor and the color. But I think the house is so important. Okay. Let me go back over here. My editor's going to kill me for 3 different videos, but I figured it out. I had to delete videos out of this program I have, which I thought I deleted them already, but I think I figured it out for good. All right, so wait, what did I just write? The wrong number. 12th house. So last one. Part of fortune in the 12th house is a very, very interesting placement, as nearly everything is with the 12th house. But basically, so like with the 4th and 8th, having that deep spiritual relationship with yourself is very, very important. And you can attract the greatest joy and luck, good fortune, all that when you are feeling that oneness with the universe, right? The depths of spirituality, however that is defined to you. So being able to connect to the collective unconscious, whether it's through meditation, any type of inspire, creative outlet, anything where you're able to connect the unconscious, right? Connect with your unconscious and make the unconscious conscious is amazing. So it's very subtle, and I feel like this 12th house part of fortune is very linked with your spiritual journey, right? So, and also with service, right? Like the 6th house, you can go back and watch that one. Being a service, but not in a, like a lot of it is like, it's like, I would say allowing yourself to believe, allowing yourself to trust, allowing yourself to, like if you think of like the low energy of 6th house, 6 archetype, Virgo, it's like people who, like I always say, there's like a million you can always find a million reasons to worry about something every day. But then Pisces is like that inspired energy, but like too much Pisces, it's like, oh, everything's just going to work out, delusional, right? So it's like with this, it's more so, some people, they need to lean into that faith, and life might throw situations at them where like it's either suffer and have doubt and fear, or just have faith that God or the universe, however you define it, higher power, is going to come through for you. So a big thing too with 12th house is listening to your intuition, like every of the water ones, right? So people with this need to be also very kind to themselves and not be too much of like, they can definitely benefit a lot from, looking at their dreams and looking at their, like that, a big part of spirituality happens in isolation, right? But there's, everything has its extremes, where it's never good. So people with this, they can want to retreat from the world from time to time, which is fine, but too much is never good of anything. But a lot of your best ideas, might come when you're alone, right? So I think like because of the selfless nature and the service-oriented nature of this, it's like a lot of, of the good fortune and energy will come when, what time is it, by the way? 1 second. When you're doing things out of your heart, out of the goodness of your heart, and for the sake of service rather than for some type of end, right? What else? Yeah. Also, like with the 6, like just making sure you're not like that you're not just giving, and making sure that your boundaries are strong. It can be difficult, with that 12 Pisces Neptune energy. Just making sure that yes, you're a healer, but in order for you to, do the best work, you can't be, if your energy is always being drained, how are you going to actually be able to give to others, right? So very interesting video. Oh, what did I just do? Oops. Oh my God, why do I have PTSD of ending videos or wasting time filming? Okay, so anyways, guys, it's been very interesting talking about this. I'm very curious to know what you guys think in the comments. I just had a 5-hour session and I went straight to this. I need to get this done. I want to start getting these videos out to you guys on Sunday. I just feel like it's a better day for a lot of people who don't work, or people who work, excuse me. But yeah, I don't know. I was talking to a friend the other day, and on a lot of my old Instagram videos, I used to be a lot more, I guess you could say, like talk about more personal stuff and kind of just talking about life. I still do that from time to time, but I don't know. Let me know if you guys would like to see me do that. These videos, like I'm trying to just give you guys the best astrology possible. So, these are all timeless videos. These don't change. these will be valid in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. It's not something that's time sensitive, like, for example, like a full moon video, right, where it's only valid for that period of time. But yeah, guys, really interesting time lately. I feel like a lot of people are getting prepared for this new transition that's coming collectively, with all the outer planets shifting signs to way more exciting but crazy signs. So I feel like the theme I've been seeing with clients and with people has been letting go of people, ways of existing, places, hobbies, things, whatever, that are no longer serving them. It's like getting rid of the dead weight. So and yeah, I've seen a lot of friend breakups lately, and earlier this year was a lot of romantic breakups, but lately I've seen a lot of friend breakups, especially around the last eclipse period. I know this part is time sensitive, but anyone watching in the future, this is 2024, late 2024, October 2024. But yeah. Yep. So that's all I got. I'm pretty tired at this point. Long video. So let me know, please, guys. Leave a like, leave a comment. Please subscribe. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to build this. As I said, like, Instagram has completely messed with me. I'm not playing victim. If anyone has followed me for a while, they know it's true. I have all the stuff to back it up. Not that anyone really cares, but it's basically my growth has been restricted. It is what it is. I don't cry about things. I just kind of move on and do, what's next, what's best. And yeah, so love you guys all. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to y'all later. And let's see what Esme's thinking. She wants a video. She has a video coming soon. Esme, that's my guardian. She's sleeping with her eyes open, as we all should. Just joking. All right, guys. Ciao.